this is Kathleen. Welcome back to our little series on how do I make a junk journal, step by step, and what is the next step after preparing the papers. So I have now that I have done the cover, I'm able to measure the size that I need for the papers to fit in the signatures. So let me kind of spread this out and I'll show you. So I have trimmed some of the papers that I'm using and have folded them. I have gone ahead and rounded the corners, and by the time I sew it in, I will also have done the distressing the edges and maybe sewing or doing some other trimming that needs to be done before I can actually sew the papers in. 2 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the signature formula that I use, but I first of all want to talk about folding some of the papers, because not all of my papers are trimmed exactly right. I have 4 basic ways that I fold papers that are too big just to fit into the journal. So the first one, and I'm going to use this pretty printed book page. Sometimes what I'll do is I will fold up just a very shallow bottom. So when I fold it in, then I will need to probably trim some of it off. I don't want it to be short on the top and not also on the side. I want to fold this to about maybe 4.5. So we'll just make a crease like that, and then I will fold this over. So now that makes just a little page with a shallow pocket at the bottom. But this side is too long. So what am I going to do with this extra? So I can either trim that off, or I can go ahead and fold it again. Now I wouldn't want that folding this way, right? I wanted to fold it this way so that I could see where that edge was. But now I would probably fold this one over this direction so that this side has kind of a lock pocket, and then this side has a little bit of a flip, but it has this pocket right here. So would I cut that off? I could just cut that off, but a lot of times I kind of like to leave that, and then that becomes just a little bit of a tuck for another kind of paper, like a smaller something can just kind of tuck in there. And so it's like a flip with this little tuck. Can't be anything too big, but it will hold pages or papers against the other page, right? So that's one way to fold. Then you've got this locked pocket on this side, and then you've got another pocket that is open either on this end, and sometimes I leave those open, and sometimes I will staple it or glue it there on the edge, okay? Okay, so that's one bound in folded pocket. Now, the second one is to just fold up a pocket. Let's do that with this page. So some pages get this really narrow pocket at the bottom, and some pages get a more regular, just a fold up pocket. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. Okay, so I will probably go ahead and bring this over to the cutter and just slice off part of that so that it's more rectangular. And then I'm going to take my corner rounder, as I have done on all the pages, and clip the corners, because I do that before I bind my pages in, and I can have it folded either way. I can fold it this way and have this more like a short page with the pockets on the inside, or I can fold it with the pockets on the outside. Okay, so there's the pocket number 2, is just a fold up regular pocket. I like to make a fold up half pocket. I'm going to fold this almost halfway, and then I fold it again, and then that gets bound in. And often I will take the edges and make some kind of a little fold down, and then I can glue that down. Okay, and the way these pockets work is you bind them in to the journal, and then you have just some kind of little ephemera that just sits in there, and it just kind of holds it. I really like doing that. Okay, so there's the half folded pocket. I did want to tell you that sometimes I will fold the long way up. I like to do this as well. And then I have kind of a tall pocket that does the same thing. And that way I kind of don't have to trim it down, and then I have these two pockets. So there's two of those. And then finally there is the fold in side pocket or a flip, and this is when you have a longer piece. This ledger sheet, so I measure it usually with one of the pages that is already folded, and then I'll fold this one over, and then I will fold it back. So this becomes, I can either glue that down and make a pocket, or if I'm doing it with ledger or some other kind of lined paper, then I just leave it as a flip out. Yeah, so there's just some quick folds. So let me tell you how I organize my signatures. I have kind of a little signature formula. It was more of a formula when I was first starting, and so now it's just kind of comes naturally. But I went back my old notebooks, and this is the formula that I used to use all the time, and now it just kind of comes more natural to me. But I divided my papers up into groups. Okay. So here's my stack of designer papers, and as I mentioned before, if you don't have access to this kind of paper and you don't want to print digitals, then you can just use these kinds of book pages. Okay, so that's one category in my formula, is designer papers. And then the second category in my signature papers is coffee dye, or the plain papers. That's another pile. Okay, and then I have a category for lined paper. So I have, like this ledger, that's a lined paper. And I don't care whether it goes sideways. If I have to turn the book to write, I don't mind doing that. I don't care if my writing is sideways. If you do, and if that bothers you, then you'll have to solve that problem some other way. But I have those papers that are lined papers. And then I have special papers. And these special papers, remember, this is just stuff that I was doing when I was first learning, and how I organize these things in my brain. So if you organize it differently, that's fine, no problem. But I think of special paper as book pages, ledger, music pages, manuscript, that's music manuscript, that's also like a lined paper, craft paper, vellum, sketch, hand-dyed dictionary, art paper. And then there is what I call sparkle. Okay, these are every signature has to have one sparkle in my mind. These are things that are actually special paper, like these handmade or textured papers, like maybe Braille paper or paper that would be crumpled up, or this is a mulberry paper that has these pretty straw pieces in it. So that's a special. This is where, the doily fits in. So let me show you what kinds of special papers I have for this journal. Over the years, I've kind of developed this idea into that's where the shorts come in, the layers, because that is something that sparkles in the journal. So I will often cut down a designer paper and make like a bound-in tag, or these little tiny papers, extra special stationery. This is a vintage stationery page. This is where the doilies go. Remember I told you I would tell you about how I use doilies in journals, and I use them in shorts or as sparkle. Here is that envelope, so an altered envelope, I consider that a sparkle. Here's a short paper, and I put some fiber through those holes, and so that ends up being a sparkle. Something like this. This is one of those little, it's embossed. So that's a sparkle. This is not anything extra special, but it's small. And this is just a note paper. And so that's small, and that's going to get layered with something else. Calendar pages. This is just another paper that I will use as a short, and I put the fiber through first because otherwise I can't get it through once it's found in. So that's a step that I have to take. And then, of course, all of these kinds of folded pockets, those are also considered sparkle. I make, as I said, writing journals generally, but if you want more of a lookbook or a gazing book or just a book that's all decorated, you could, instead of doing another lined or another coffee dye, you could do another special paper or another designer paper, but this is the way I do it. So here, I'll bring it up close and then you can just get a screenshot. Okay, so I do a designer paper, then a coffee dye, then a lined paper, then a special paper. Then I go back and do a coffee dye and a lined, and instead of a lined, maybe I do a graph paper and then another special paper. And then I always put in a sparkle. So in this book, I have decided that I want to do 3 signatures. So that's the kind of the formula, okay, is just to do it in order. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to decide 3 signatures. I think I want that one. Because I have those 2 prints together, I'm going to put something in between. And do I want the dark, or I think I want the orange in between them. Okay, that one, and that one, and that one. I will put that one and that one. Okay, so now I have actually too many papers. I always do this. I always plan bigger signatures than I have room for. If I take these 2 out and make another journal, this would look really good with this gray. So I think I'll pull that one out and maybe make another journal and put these 3 in there. This was that pretty coffee dye that I have punched the edge. So I'm going to put that in, and I like this one. That's gonna go in this one, that in that one. And then I have 3 of these special papers. Put one like that. So at this point, I don't always follow the formula, but I do know that now I do need some writing papers. Now I have ledger and I have lined paper. Okay, so now our signatures have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The cover better be pretty thick, because by the time I get all the pockets and tucks and everything stuffed with ephemera, it gets gator mouth, right? I don't like gator mouth. Some of you do, but I don't. I have 3 signatures. I don't want anything more than 8 or 9 in each one. If I have 8, that's 24 pages. That's about 100 pages in the journal. If I do 9, let's try with 9, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the sparkles also count. Many of them do. I don't usually count the sparkles, but if it's a page that's this big, then I do count that. And the envelope, unless it's bound in, it gets counted as a pocket. So I'm going to put that over there. But something like this, that counts as a page. So that is going to count as a page. This stationery, that's going to count as a page. This vintage, yeah, that counts as a page. So there's our 8. So I've only got room for one other thing in the pockets. They count as a page. So we're going to do those pockets, and then I want some shorts. This is how I put the shorts together. I go through my choices. So I have like this calendar page, and that would look pretty with this one. I always do 2 shorts together, and sometimes 3. Just kind of depends. Let's hang this one over, and then on this side it will be shorter. So I want to fold it about right there. Okay, and we'll put that together like that, right? Yep. Okay, so let's see about this. Let's bring this one. Yes, I like that, and I like those colors together, and that looks good too. I kind of like that. Yeah, let's put those together. I don't necessarily need to put fiber through there, but if I did, it's going to be further away from that than this. Is pretty close, so I think we'll use that. Put that one in that one. So that has a pair of shorts. This has some shorts, and then we can use this and put a little shorts together here. Let's use this one. Do you see what I mean by layering this? So I have this offset. Okay, now this has a white cork. Can you see how that tear and there? So that means I think I'm going to sand that and emphasize that. So I just get my sandpaper out, and I just going to go along. If I had a moment, I might get the embosser out and emboss it. But just, if you don't have an embosser, you can still do this. I bet you have sandpaper in your cupboard right now. Sandpaper is my favorite mixed media tool for junk journaling. Soften it up. So I'm going to go in one direction, and then I'm going to go in the other direction so that it looks random. Okay. So then I need to wipe that off because it makes it dusty. Where was I? Where is my paper? There it is. All right. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now we have 3 of those. I do want to use this. And this has a fold. So that looks good. Or maybe even if we just use this little one. Yeah, actually, I like that. That's good. And this goes in somewhere. So let's take the doily and maybe put that around there. Okay, I'm gonna fold this doily, and that's gonna go right there. I like that, and I think we'll put that with that. Okay, so that has 2 sets. This has 1, this has 2, so this one needs another one. I like that. Very good. Okay, so now the next thing to do, holy cow, this is a long video, is, maybe I can edit some of it out, is to just collate them and put them together. Okay, so, and then let's do this one. Let's do this short. So we'll put that one there. Yeah, let's do that one instead there. And then that's not bad. Okay. Okay. I kind of like that. That works. Okay. In my formula, I usually, because I do these pockets and stuff, that's why I often have a line that follows one of the designer papers, because it just seems to need that. And this is a short, so yeah, let's put that one here, because this signature has two different shorts, and so I don't want them together. So if I put one close to the beginning, then this one will go more toward the middle, like a plain sheet. You know, the only thing about a formula is it just kind of breaks up what you're doing so that you don't have all your lined papers together. Kind of like those two together. And then let's put this together there. And then we have that one. So sometimes when something doesn't fit right, then I can exchange this one for that one, and then that looks better there, right? So this becomes the center, and I think that looks pretty, although I might want to switch and make it this way. And then you can maybe put a pocket there. That might be good. Okay, all right, here's the final one. And it has three sparkles. It has 3 sparkles and maybe 4. I want this vintage paper. This one. Yeah, I think maybe this page in. And these are 2 shorts. I like the way this page looks against that. And then this. Yeah. And can we fit we could fit the pocket here as well. Yep, we can. I like that. And then let's put this one in, and this one. Yep, I like that. I like it. So there are our stuffed signatures, and here's the cover. And yeah, I think that's gonna fit. So once I kind of get it made, then I understand better, how thick things are, and I don't want that sticking out quite like that. So I will come back and kind of trim some of those down, and then they will fit better. Holy cow, that was a long video. And so obviously we're going to put the binding off till the next video. Next video, I have something really special to show you. I my design team project for Dear Julie Julie. It's going to post on Monday, the 16th of October. Thank you so much for being so patient, and I will see you again with a new project. Bye-bye.